Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And at the time of this recording, you can see Bitcoin is trading at 82,544. It's chopping sideways in that 82 to 83,000 range. The market cap is sitting at 2.69 trillion. Yeah, pretty much flat. And well, the volume is down 33%. Not even a meme coin today is out for a run. The sentiment analysis, which a lot of people use, the fear and greed index is sitting at 32. That's not that bad, actually. I do believe in global liquidity drives the markets, and it is with this 10-week lead of the global M2 money supply that Raoul Pal often uses, and he used today again and reminded everybody that it is really looking as though we are in the bottoming zone, and it has nowhere to go but up. And should it follow this cycle that it's done for years, then we are at the beginning of a very big upcycle. I'm going to share with you something that I've been watching for years, and I'm not sure if you were around in the XRP community back in 2020, but this was very big news when it was uncovered that Ripple had filed for a limited liability company in the state of Wyoming. Yeah, the community did a lot of speculation. You can imagine. I remember that the becoming a bank was the big buzz. In the state of Wyoming, the registered LLCs are required to file an annual report and pay an associated tax. The tax rate is 0.0002 per dollar of assets, with a minimum fee of $60. From the Wyoming government website, you can see that the original annual reports, 4 years worth, can be downloaded in the form of a PDF, which represents the tax paid by the company Ripple. Here's the first one, and the license tax paid was $60, the minimum. Here is the second one, 2022, and you can see the license tax due at that time was $24,989.63. So yes, it climbed by quite a bit. Here we have 2023, and that tax due came down a little to $16,514.62. But why I decided to cover this today is that in 2024, they paid $53,275.16 in the tax that corresponds to having 266,375,800 in assets in this state of Wyoming. So, wow, quite an increase, right? And how can you tell what the assets are? Well, the state does not require detail. And so for the public view, you just don't know. It could be a tangible asset like real estate or inventory, and it could be also an intangible asset like cash, investments, financial holdings, or a capital employed asset. That could be money or property actively used in the LLC's business operations within the state. Only an educated guess would work here because you look at Wyoming, yes, it has crypto-friendly banking laws, some of the friendliest. It is an attractive place to hold reserves, but maybe this is just a big stash of XRP. We also have to remember that Kraken is there, and they provide custody with a special banking license. So you just don't know. And it gets down to just, I think, a good guess. But I'm curious if you have any good guess. Please put it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And I'll continue to watch this license tax due and see how much it climbs or maybe declines in 2025. I know a lot of people were talking in the last 24 hours about Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin surging past 170 million, and also the fact that they have said that they are eyeing the top 5 spot for 2025. They would need about a 500% increase in their growth. And it is possible. USDC and FDUSD once did a 500 plus growth in 1 year. The Hong Kong USD stablecoin, which is called FDUSD, it's going to be challenging to get close to that stablecoin because it's so popular with its 11% APR yield, and it's got a trajectory that is really strong from Binance and DeFi. What I want you to keep your eye on is a brand new bridged variant of the Tether USDT. This is called USDT 0. And I think it's possible that with their EMI license, should it be granted for MiCA, it's going to be a major player overnight. It's currently managed by Everdawn Labs, and yeah, it just launched December 2024. Its current market cap is already 1.2 billion. And so, yeah, this is, I think, going to be a monster. Keep your eye on it. And I've got a clip to take you out that I curated. It is from an under the radar interview, fewer than 60 views, uploaded on March 5th. And it's about Swift and their experiment with Chainlink. Chainlink is just a connector to these different public and private blockchains. And it's talked about in this clip. I do want you to listen to it because it's important to know that the lead in these projects say that there is not one single solution, that they see Swift as the connector of interoperability. It's interesting. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you for having me on the show here. It's great to be with you. So I'm Nick Kerrigan. I'm Managing Director and Head of Innovation at Swift. So I lead a team of 10 who are keen and passionate innovators within Swift. I've been at Swift now something like 4.5 years. And before that, I had a 20-odd year career in payments and banking, most particularly focused in Barclays, where I spent 13 years doing strategy, digital payments, and then came into the innovation space.
Perfect.
It's a very broad landscape, and so we have to focus where we think we can add our value. And our value, I think, is around what we call interoperability, which is just a long word for saying, how do you connect these things together in a really effective way so that we can support that market to be able to scale up? We did a recent blockchain interoperability experiment where we worked with the chainlink CCIP protocol, just as an example, so that we could be able to reach to public blockchains as well as private blockchains. So I think we will see a variety of options. You know, I like to say, really, you know, interoperability is hard but essential. And there's probably not going to be any one single solution to it. But we're aiming at with Swift to be able to be a bit of a convener of that community, to be able to say, look, this is how we can make these things work together, and then also this is how we can have standards in this space. And so we recently published a white paper around digital assets, looking at potential areas for standards, and we think that's going to be really important as we go forward. And obviously, Swift has had quite an extensive role in the standards space through being the standards authority for ISO 20022 in the payments space, and we're looking to kind of take that thinking about standards and bring that also into the area of digital and tokenized assets.